What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being here.
All right.
This is my dad, Bobby Deitch, and he's an amazing drummer and taught me everything I know about life and drums and everything else. And we're just going to jam for a second just to get loose, and then we'll be discussing some great concepts for future drummers out there. I know a bunch of y'all are getting into the drums these days, and this guy knows how to get you going. So we're going to start with a tune that you probably played me when I was 3 years old, maybe 2.
Maybe before you were born even.
Yeah, probably. Okay, see if you guys can tell what we're playing.
Actually, dude.
Thank you. See, this is almost like, it's Thanksgiving at the house, and you're all invited, This is what we do,
Amen.
Yeah, so anyway, how about this guy, right? Look at the career this guy's put together. Unbelievable. I'm so proud of him, I don't know what to say. I teach in 2 universities, and one of the courses I teach is something called Multiculturalism, Music in America. One commonality that I noticed, we go through a lot of different cultures all over the world, not just America, but all over the world. And one commonality that every culture seems to have is the drum. And, in so many cultures, drums are used not only for rhythm and to express emotion, but also, as communication. There are, for centuries, so many countries in Africa and Asia, have used the drum and percussion as a means of communication and emotion. So, what I did was, I was teaching, many years ago, I was teaching us at a school for learning with kids with learning disabilities, and we had a drum set in the room. The kids wanted to learn how to play, but they didn't really know how to read notation. So they wanted to be able to play some beats, but they couldn't, to teach them the real musical notation, like quarter notes, 16th notes. It was way over their head. They just couldn't do it. So I came up with this concept of just numbers, using numbers instead of notes to get them to play beats. So I put together this thing. You have the packet with you, but if you can count to 8, you can play the drums. My goal was that since playing drums was such a wonderful thing, and bringing world peace through drumming was my goal, all the way through. So I put together this book, and it's called The Drummer in You. And it's a ton of beats. Each week I would create a beat, and the kids would get on the drums, and eventually they'd start playing it. And the next week they'd go, "Oh, teach us another beat." And I put another beat up there, and after a while I had enough beats to put a book together. So that's what I've been doing. Then I started grabbing neighbors off the street. My chiropractor, You know, people like that. You just come on down to the basement. You know, let me show you this. You know, and they were playing the beats, and it was working. You know, and next thing you know, it started to catch on. You know, Adam was like checking it out and digging it, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, some of these kids had very serious learning disabilities like Tourette's syndrome and major things, and you see them light up when they start playing a beat. They get so excited and like that feeling of playing a beat, and just the simplicity of the book and how easy it is to play, and so continue.
When he was a little guy, I'd say around maybe 5, 6, we took him to an Earth, Wind and Fire concert, and this was at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, and when the show started out, they were known for doing a lot of kind of magic and theatrics and all kinds of stuff. So they would start playing their thing, and then all of a sudden they would all circle around the center of the stage, and out from the stage would lift up this, this platform, and it was the drummer, and the drummer would come up, and they were all like, oh, thank you, oh, the drummer, So, that's where, I think that had to be a big influence on him, and it was totally an influence on me. I mean, I was just like, wow. I don't know what was I, 20 something at the time. What's that?
The greatest band of all time.
Yeah, they are the greatest band of all time. Right. Them and the Meters. Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the book for 1 second. For myself, I teach in the 2 colleges, but most of my time is split up between playing drums and songwriting. So I also teach songwriting, and I play a little piano, a little guitar and bass, and we had we put together a band. We had about two years ago. We put together an album, and that's been out for a while. It's called Grateful, which we are totally grateful for everything in life, and y'all should be too. So, yeah, right? Give it up. Woo! Yeah. So, I just want to show you, if you have the packet, if you have the thing, the first thing, the very last page, at the top of it, it should say 12. And what you see in there is a box. And the box has 3 lines in it. And the top line would go to this thing right here, the hi-hat. You all know what a hi-hat is, I'm sure. The next line would be snare drum, and the bottom line is the bass drum. We always put the low drum on the bottom, right? And if you notice, the hi-hat has 8 numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you notice that the snare drum has a dash under the 1, a dash under the 2, a number 3, and then 3 more dashes, and then the number 7. Then you have the bass drum, which is playing 1, 3, 5, and 7. So what happens is, and I'd like to get somebody up here that's never played before at some point, but let me show you how it kind of goes. So, let's do that hi-hat. What you do is you close the hi-hat, you keep it shut. Sometimes I do this for my college kids to get them going also, to teach them some stuff. I lock the hi-hat shut, And when you play the bass drum, let me just give you a quick tip. When you play the bass drum, basically you play with the ball of your foot with your heel up. And when you hit the bass drum head, you basically keep it up against the head until you're ready to hit it again. So that's the idea there. So you don't want the bass drum beater, that little thing that hits the head, you don't want that kind of moving around a lot. And this way, you be the boss. You tell the bass drum what to do. It doesn't tell you what to do. You're the boss. So you're the pilot of this whole kit here. Right? Yeah, so it's like that kind of thing. So let's start with the hi-hat first, okay? So as a matter of fact, any of you that are sitting down, or even if you're standing up, you take your hands, tap on your lap, whatever you want to do.
Air drums.
Do it right with us. Yeah, air drums. And this way, we get a little, assimilated with the whole thing. So, let's try this. We're going to do this really slowly. We're going to speed it up gradually, but you'll see how it works. So, hi-hat. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How y'all doing, okay?
Yeah.
You keeping it steady? Okay. As that's going, let's do the bass drum. Let's skip the snare drum and go right to the kick drum right there. So that's 1, 3, 5, 7. with the right hand. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, let me do this again. 1, 2, it's a lot slower. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to bring the snare drum in on 3s and 7s. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you got it? So let's try this a little bit faster, okay? So we'll do about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 5. You feeling it? Let's speed it up a little bit more. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the mouth, out through the stomach. Got it? Okay. Maybe a little, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4. I mean, just think of all the tunes that you could play just playing this beat. Yeah. There you go, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. And
That's like page 1 of the book, you know. Page, you know, as you get deeper, it gets more.
yeah, as you get more, it gets more complicated, obviously. So I'm looking at page 14 at the top, if you see it. It's the same thing we just played, but the bass drum is different. Okay? So now everything's the same. Hi-hat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Snare drum is 3 and 7. Bass drum is what's different. So you're hitting on 1, 5, and 6. Okay? So we got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. Yeah. We're Sergeant Pepper's Lonely. Right? Yeah. Right, and that's how that goes. So there's that one.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. We'll try one more. Want to talk a little more? Or you want to
Good.
keep going?
Keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. All right. Take a look at the one that says, let's see. Oh, give me one sec. Yes. Yeah, well, let's take a look at this double box thing here. It's kind of a funky little thing here. It's a little more complicated. You see 2 boxes up there. And what that means is basically you're just reading straight across from left to right. So it's almost as though, like, if you were reading real musical notation, the first box would be the first measure, and the next box would be the second measure, and you just repeat them back and forth. And so now you got the hi-hat going only 1, 3, 5, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that with me. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. So it's almost like you're playing, for drummers it would be quarter notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The complicated thing is the bass drum does 1-4-7 the first time, if you see it, and only 3 the second time. Okay? So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A little complicated? It's a little complicated, right? But the easy part is the snare drum, because that's only on 5. Only on 5, nothing else. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So something like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Some of you got it? Speed it up? Yeah. Hear it? Of course, we're embellishing a little bit.
Which is also, that's the basis of the go-go beat, which is originated in DC, and that's the same exact pattern, except it's swung in a triplet manner, which 2, 3.
I'm ready to start grooving. I'm getting into it. Okay, so we'll do one more. Give you one more beat, and then we'll maybe get some people up here. There's a couple of things. Actually, there's 2 more beats that I'd like to talk to you about. James Brown, the great James Brown. Yeah. Did a tune called "Cold Sweat." And one beat that we put in here, that. It's a much simplified, version of, obviously, than what, the great drummers like Java Starks and those guys did. But if you look at it, if you look at the page, I think it says 57 at the top. So you still got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The bass drums in the first box is doing 1 and 6. The second box it's doing 2, 5, 6. Okay. Damn. So, like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To kind of play the same time.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so when you play it fast, you know. Hear it now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. So if you look at these beats as like sort of the backbone of the groove, and what's in the book and what the numbers is the meat and potatoes, and the embellishments just start to come naturally. The little roughs in between, the little couple of those, Bernard Purdy, those things, and those kind of just start to happen. But once you learn the basic beat, it becomes part of you. You're just like, oh, I feel it now, and then everything else is just, some icing. That's how we kind of approach it.
Yeah, the idea of the book is to give you the joy of playing a beat. If you want technique, then go ahead and practice, take some drum lessons, do whatever you got to do. But here, this gives you the joy of drumming. That's what it really is all about in the end. So, so you got that drum kit, thank you. That drum kit you got in your garage with the tarp over it that you're never going to play again, get them out. Start learning, get the book. It's up on Amazon, Hudson Music, go wherever you want to go. And start playing.
You can get that $300 Questlove kit. That sounds great.
I know, that's a great kit.
It's a great small kit. You can put it in the corner of your bedroom and just play every day.
Yeah, they make they make electric kits.
Yeah.
Live in an apartment or something like that. It's great stuff. One last beat, and this is just a single box, something that's kind of fun to play. I don't know what you call this, house or something. Or yeah, it's if you look at, I think it says page 31 at the top, and it's a single box beat. See it? Drum beat 11B. Now what you got now is you got the hi-hat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you see the 6, 7, 8. But the 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a letter above it. RL. What does that stand for? Anybody know? Hey, there you go. Good. Yeah. So when you play on the hi-hat, you're going to be playing right, left, and then when you get to the next right, that's going to hit the snare drum. Okay. And then the rest of them are on the hi-hat. So the final left, right, left is on the snare, is on the hi-hat again. So you're going right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. You can do it with me. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and the bass drum, the kick drum, is just playing 1 and 5. So you got 1, 2, 3. Now with the snare drum, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. You might hear the drummer from U2 play this beat when they do, you know.
It's every U2 song.
Yeah, it's every U2 song. It's true,
Pretty
it's
much.
true. He's my neighbor. He lives across the street. I got to be careful, you know. Larry Mullen, yeah, he's a nice guy.
Sean, speed it up a little bit.
Okay, so. You hearing it? That's still too slow. Yeah, you know. Everybody.
Nigel. September.